G'day traders, we're going to wrap up on Wednesday the 29th of August. So today, quite a slow day. Price action was quite tight. You can see now the daily charts is getting another bit of a retracement. This is actually happening in the pre-market. But as far as today was concerned, I really found it to be one of the slowest days we've had in the last few weeks. Let me bring over the 15-minute chart. Here we go. So what it seems is we're stuck in a bit of a range at the moment. This 1411 seems to be quite a solid area that the market just can't really penetrate. Yesterday, Tuesday, there was a opportunity here where the market sort of had a bit of a tight pullback and sort of approached this high area for basically the fifth time for the day, and looked like it was really good to finally have a breakout and maybe start heading back up to the top of the range up here. And the Russell and a few things like breaking, but it just didn't penetrate, and it just came back within the range and just hung around its gap all day. You can see quite a tight pre-market. Then leading up today again, the market stuck fairly tight to its gap, and it tried to get up a bit higher, did for a little bit there, but didn't get any real momentum or power through the area. And again, it's really acting as resistance. So keep an eye on 1411 and see what the market wants to do around that area. You can see now this is the bit of a retracement we're having uh, in the pre-market. So this trend line, which you can see going back through the times, is just acting as fantastic support. So it'll be really interesting to see if we can get down there sometime in the pre-market before Thursday, what happens in regards to that particular area. So as for this morning, I mean, we got a little bit of price action sort of in the middle of the morning session. It was really quite tight and really struggled to move sort of the first hour or so. It started to really break down, and as it broke through this bit of a pivotal point here, it was sort of breaking through all this pre-market area as well, and all the other markets together, especially the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq was very keen on the downside. When you look back through this particular area here, the Nasdaq was just making massive momentum on the downside, and as a result, ES followed for a little bit, but it's got a bit of a bounce and couldn't continue. And as it's come back in the range, it became obvious that thought it possibly could hold and use this area as resistance to go lower from, but it ended up pushing through and started getting above this gap, or key area that sort of runs through at 1408 region. From there, we've got quite a good bounce off it. I mean, in hindsight, it was hard to interpretate whether this bounce was actually going to come. You can see the moving average is quite flat. Price action by this stage was flat. I guess it's more likely once we did push up above it that the bounce is more probable than pushing back through it. But while watching it live, it was certainly hard to see that it was going to extend as much as it did here. Especially talking about that 1411 being quite good resistance on those 15-minute charts at the moment. From there, I mean, price action really slowed up. We sort of started to get some reversal formations here. You can see it's kind of hard to see it here, and it's not blaringly obvious, but it was certainly there. The market, it's come down, it's popped back up, it's really containing itself on the upside. It's never going back and making high highs, and it keeps breaking down through these levels. Same thing here, pop back without sort of breaking up through this region here and then breaking down again. But with 1408 and the gap sort of around here, it was hard to see it getting some momentum through, but that's what it's done. And you can see now it's continuing on the downside. So just going quickly through this 1 minute chart, not a lot to. I think the 5 minute chart does a better job at showing again today. When you've got quite tight price action or tight range, having something like a 5 minute chart tends to show the opportunities a little bit more with a little bit more clarity. But here's this sort of bit of a pivot that we formed in all the markets. You can see as they come down through this area here, you've got some real momentum, and just step back here without any sort of power. Thought maybe there was going to be some resistance. In the end, it couldn't hold. It's got it back above the gap. This is where it's bounced off the gap, and then price action very small here. Each candle's only 1 to 2 ticks, and eventually we got some of these reversal patterns where it's each time it's coming back, it's holding, containing its highs and breaking down lower, but certainly not with any sort of power or momentum. Just sort of grinding it out on the downside here, and then here we are on the pre-market, making our way slowly down. So that's a quick wrap up for Wednesday, and we'll be back actually away for a couple of days. So the next wrap up will be actually Tuesday, because um, finishing up earlier this week, and then also next week, Monday is a public holiday. But of course, we'll still have normal trading Thursday, Friday, and then public holiday Monday, and then back into full swing again Tuesday. Speak to you guys then.